Right, Mark, first chance we've had to chat since the FA Cup. 7 goals. Did you feel that was a long time coming?
We've been scoring quite a number of goals in the league games. We scored a few 3s and 2s, and we've always looked like we're going to score. I don't never think like we're in trouble of not scoring goals. So yeah, it was nice to score 7. No matter what game you're playing in, to score 7 goals takes some doing, no matter the opposition. But we do have to take into account the opposition, and we got to go again Saturday.
I'm going to ask you quickly about the FA Cup. What does it mean to you as a club? Because you've got Didcot now in the next round, and obviously the further we get into this, the greater the financial side of it. Is that the main thing for you guys, the financial side of it, or do you love it as much as actually going out and playing on the pitch in the FA Cup?
Well, I think the nostalgia of the FA Cup is great. The FA Cup and Yeovil are synonymous with their giant killing history, but the finance has to be the driver, because we can earn really good money for it. And no matter what club you are, if you can earn lots of money from doing something, you've got to try your best to try and earn as much as you can. And I said to the players before the game, careers can be made on FA Cup. You can go and play well against a big team and somebody's watching. I've seen it before in teams. Players have got moves from it, and it's a distraction from the league, and it gives you a real opportunity to make memories and make money.
And you're home again in the next round as well against Didcot.
Yeah, good draw for us. I'm sure Didcot are looking forward to it as well. We'll do the same amount of diligence as we would on any other team, and they'll fancy their chances, and we have to be spot on again.
Trip to London, or London Borough, for this weekend. What do you know about the opposition?
Same as lots of other teams. It's a difficult game. Probably boring not to say that, but they all are difficult games in our league, and we have to be right. We have to be tactically right. We have to keep working on our partnerships in the team, make sure we're a little bit more solid in our play, certainly, as a group defensively, and we keep up the goal scoring record.
How difficult is it to judge at this time of the season? Because this will be your 10th match. Hampton, I think a lot of teams assume, might be a bit higher up along with several other teams. Is it really hard to judge a team based on where they are now in the league?
I think so. I think it's such an open league at the minute, and you see some freak results, and I think it's really Christmas when it starts to settle down and the nights draw in and the yellow balls come out and gets a bit miserable. I think you see a real sort of honesty then about where you might end up finishing. But listen, we know it's going to be a tough game on Saturday. They've got some good players, but again, if we do our bit and play to our capabilities, we can get a result.
Do you feel like you've settled now as a squad 9 games in, or do you feel like there is still work to do? I know we just chatted to Josh and he said defensively he still feels there's improvements to be made. Do you feel like you have settled well as a squad?
I think we've settled, but there's still improvements. Like, echoing Josh's comments, that we're still a little bit open. Not just defensive, as a unit, as a team, and that's something that we're trying to. It's relationships. So a right centre back and a right full back, or left centre back, left full back, centre half, and a midfield player in front of him. The midfield player, those relationships are key. And if one moves in the team, the other one has to move. Otherwise, you leave a gap. So we have to work on those relationships. Keep working on them. A lot of new players, but there are signs that we are settling.
Do you feel like as a club you have taken a couple of games, obviously the start of the season was a bit trickier, but you have now gelled as a unit? It feels like the play is a lot more free-flowing.
I still think there's loads. I still think we've got 30-40% left to develop, and we're not as fluent as I would like, but any manager will tell you you're never really at where you think you should be. And but the key is to keep picking up results and to stay in the hunt, and that's our aim.
Is this league trickier than you thought it was going to be, or did you always assume it was going to be difficult, because it's actually quite hard to research the teams you're playing against in some cases?
Yeah, I said before, when I knew we were getting relegated, I watched 3-4 games in the National League South last season towards the end, just to make myself aware of the landscape. And I think you find every team's got 2 or 3 really tricky players. Certainly when you go closer to London, they have some really tricky wide forwards, and it can be really difficult to to deal with, and that's the bit that we have to deal with. Those variables and those transitional moments we have to be really good at.
Do you have any headaches coming up to Saturday in terms of injuries, or is it more about the form guide and who you're going to stick up front?
Really, like I say, we're still trying to build those relationships. We've got, we're lucky that we've got some goal scorers in the squad, and it's just trying to get a balance right. You can't play them all. We've seen that we have to manage. We've got 2 or 3 that we have to manage physically, and finding that sort of solution and fixing the puzzle is the biggest thing. But we've got Jamie Sendles-White still not right. The rest will all be available.
Reese getting a hat-trick at the weekend. I mean, and there's no such thing as a guarantee in football, but does that put him in better stead or a better chance of starting this weekend? Reese
and Jake Hyde didn't play a lot of football last year. And the one thing when they came is I promised that I would try and manage them physically and not put them at risk of getting injuries that will put them out for 2-3 months at a time. So that's been the situation with them, and why we're putting them in and out. And people say, well, they need to play every game to get into a rhythm. They probably can't. So we have to be clever with that. And Reese scoring a hat-trick, of course, there'll be a clamour to put him in the team. But like I say, it's always about a balance, trying to fight. If you put 8 forwards in the team, you're going to get beat because somebody has to stop the ball going in the other net. So we have to make sure the balance is right.
And looking ahead to the weekend, obviously you're 3 points off top. Realistically, you probably won't go top this weekend, but does that change things in terms of mindset for the players when you're having those conversations? 3 points could actually lift you right up to the top of the table?
I think we're quite calm as a group. I think they know where we need to be. We know what we need to do. They know that a win puts them in a good position. It's just about, like I say, there's 37 games left. We have to keep picking points up, and if we can stay around the 2 points a game mark, then we won't go far wrong.
When you say it like that, it sounds like there's a long way to go.
There is a long way to go. There's a lot of dark winter nights. There's a lot of mud, rain, snow. So now is about picking points up and then getting ready for the charge towards the end.
Are you enjoying it more this season? Because obviously there was so many factors at play last season which just made the club more difficult to manage, both from like a player's perspective, a management upstairs perspective. Are you enjoying the role more this season?
I think so. I think I'm being able to manage more than I was last year. But we've got a great group of lads, a great group of players that get on remarkably well and want to do well for the football club. And listen, they're going to make mistakes. We're in the Conference South. We're all going to make mistakes. That's why we're here. And in the main, the fans have backed us. And if they keep doing that and getting behind the boys, then I'm sure we can keep going.